Recognizes the Subcommittee Chairman for Energy and Power, Mr. Whitfield, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Shimkus. I want to further explore a question that Mr. Shimkus had. In addition to your fly ash rule in June of 2010, in December of 2010, you issued guidelines for preparing economic analysis. And in that guideline, it said regulatory-induced employment impacts are not generally relevant for a cost-benefit analysis. And I think that guideline would also be in direct conflict with the President's executive order. And so I would ask you, are you revising the guidelines at all?
I believe the guidelines call for a separate jobs analysis, or envision a separate jobs analysis. So I think what the intent was not to double count jobs analysis in the cost benefit. But happy to take a look at that issue to make sure.
But in your guidelines now, you do insist that you look at the impact on jobs of any regulations.
We are doing jobs analysis for our regulations, yes, sir.
And that. Now, let me. Second question I would like to ask you is: do you know how many lawsuits are pending against EPA today?
How many lawsuits? I do not have the number, sir. But
would you be able to get that to us?
Certainly.
Because I noticed that the legal advice part of your budget exceeds $61 million, which is quite a bit of money.
Well, we are sued quite often, sir, by many sides.
And also, how much money does EPA contribute to the International Panel on Climate Change?
I don't know that we. Oh, sir, I'll have to get that number for you for the record. I'm not sure that we do contribute, but if we do, I'll get that number to you.
So maybe we don't contribute any money to it through EPA?
Yeah, we do not know, so rather than give you inaccurate information, may I please just get it?
Okay. Now, I noticed that in the budget there's also about $1.2 billion set aside for categorical grants. And I noticed that categorical grants can also be given to nonprofit groups. Would you be able to give me 3 or 4 names of some nonprofit groups that have received these categorical grants?
Well, I know just because I saw a letter recently from, I believe it's Chairman Upton, that there's a request for the entire list. I happen to see another piece of correspondence from the state of California. Many of their local and regional air boards receive those grants. So I think you'll see a mixture of state and public entities, as well as possibly some NGOs. But we are working on the response to that letter.
So you'll be providing a total list of those and the amounts and
that's what the letter requests, sir, and it's a fairly substantial piece of work, but that is what we're in the process of doing.
Thank you. Now, I noticed that there's also like $195 million in civil and criminal enforcements. Are we primarily talking about court action to enforce compliance with EPA rules? Is that what that $195 million basically would go for?
Many of our actions are administrative, sir, so they never reach the courts. They are administrative actions, penalty actions, and others. Civil enforcement can be, obviously, under civil codes, can result in indictments and fines, penalties, or even jail time.
My time is about to conclude here, so I want to just go back once more because this job impact issue is so important in my view. I just want to make sure in the guidelines you're saying that in some instances you do look at job impacts. Is that correct?
We have been looking at jobs impacts analysis as part of our regulatory analyses. And if you look at any of the rulemaking records for recent rules, certainly ones I've been involved with, there are jobs analysis if they're economically significant rules.
And could you say that on just about on every regulation that's going to be issued at EPA now, job analysis impacts will be looked at?
Well, I think we need to look at economically significant regulations. EPA has several regulations that don't rise to that.
Economically significant, that would be what, 100 million or more, or what is the?
That is one of the tiers that we look at, yes, so 100 million or more. But why don't I give you the criteria by which we do the jobs analysis? I'm happy to do that. I agree with you that we need to do as good a job we can looking at the jobs impacts of major rules.
Thank you.